So today we'll be building some DOM projects, vanilla JavaScript projects together. And these are the projects that are listed in the CTech portal. And we'll start from this easier ones and we'll go to more complicated, like more difficult projects. So the first project is this type award in the box. It's a little bit different than the project in CTech because that one I think it's supposed to be your homework project, but we will be building a little bit other variation on the same project. So if you go to projects, JavaScript, so this is a word count, this project. So you need to type a word, and then after you click to calculate the word length, it will output what's the length of the word. And the current project that we're going to build, it will calculate directly while you were typing. So, and it doesn't calculate the empty spaces. So this will be done with vanilla JavaScript. And when we enter, clear out the input, it will automatically show that you have 0, like the current word length is 0. So let's create a project. We'll be starting we'll build from scratch. So 22. And 7. So we'll be building today multiple projects. So I'm gonna create a folder for this project. So this will be word length project. And inside we're gonna create index.html and our style CSS. There will be like very minimal style CSS that we're gonna create today. It's gonna be mostly focused on JavaScript and scriptures. So let's start building it. Okay. So we're gonna need, since it's located directly in the center, we're gonna wrap all the elements with a one parent container, wrapper container. And let's make the title word length. For the container, let's give it a wrapper class name, and inside we'll have h1. Actually, this one is to can h1, yeah, type.
Excuse me, Manya. Could you please zoom a little bit your screen?
Okay.
Thank you.
How about this?
It's better. Thank you.
Yeah. So type a word in the box, and we're gonna need input of the type of text, and let's give it ID because we need to grab this input with the DOM. So the input, we give it input, and let's put a placeholder. Placeholder would say type a word. And also we're gonna need a paragraph. So this will have your word length is. And in the next line, let's create another paragraph. This will be our output. So let's give it the ID of output. And initially, we don't need to do anything here. So we can, so on load, there will be nothing here. So we can have a placeholder for now as 0. Let's see our Okay, so this is what we have so far. Let's style it a little bit. Link. Style CSS, and also let's add our JS file. Script JS. Okay. I would encourage everybody to try to follow with me and build together. If you're behind, let me know. I will share the code so that you can be up to date with me as well. So let me make it a little bit smaller this side. So for styling CSS, it's pretty straightforward. Let's place everything in the middle. So body, we can display everything inside as flex. So we have just one element, right, wrapper. So I want to place it right in the middle, horizontally and vertically. So who can tell me how we can do it? Elzada? Elzada, how can we place it in the middle, directly in the middle?
The position. I actually am not sure.
We already created we are applying Flexbox. So right now, body is the Flex container, and we want to horizontally place everything in the middle. So what would be the Flex property for horizontally placing it in the middle?
Justify content and the align
Yeah.
item.
Exactly. To the center. Justify content right now will place it horizontally in the middle, and align items will be vertically in the middle, right? Okay. Let's give it some height as well, so that height 100 pH, so that it knows that we want to place it in the middle. Okay, and for the wrapper, let's give it a border, 1 pixel solid and gray. Let's give it some width, 500 pixels, and height 800 pixels, and we can text align to the center. So we can see that we're almost done. So the only thing that I would like to style is input. So we can make the height as 30 pixels and text align in the center. And I think in the original one, the border radius is different. So let's give it some border radius. Border radius 10 pixels. So you can see that when we click this, there is no outline. And here we can see that there is an outline. So let's change that to outline none. And also let's change the border 1 pixel solid and gray. Okay. Oops. So this is it. This is our index.html and style CSS. We don't need to do anything. It's pretty straightforward. And now the fun part, the script.js. So what kind of elements do we need to grab from DOM in order for this functionality to work?
Input and second paragraph.
Input and output, yeah. Okay, so let me get the input first. how can we get the input? So I'm gonna open the HTML.
You take the
By-
value. Yeah.
You can take by tag name or
by ID.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can take by tag name or by ID. Since we have just one input, but since we gave it ID, let's grab it with the ID again. So what is the method that we can apply to find this element?
get
Dot,
element.
dot.
Get element by ID.
Mm-hmm. Document. We can use get element by ID, or what kind of other
Query select.
query selector? Yeah, we can also use query selector. I don't know, but I have a favorite, like I have a bias. I like to use query selector over get element by ID. I feel like query selector, it just does everything, like three methods in one, basically. So query selector, what do I need to pass here?
Shortcut.
Hashtag.
Hashtag. Yeah, this shortcut. I could hear her shortcut.
So
Yeah, hashtag input, right? Okay, and now how do I get the output? Const output. Gonna be similar, right? Document, query selector, and strings, ID. Our output has ID. So perfect. We can just grab this. Okay. So now, what is next? How can I make it so that when I type, it will calculate for me the length?
You take the value and input as a length of the string.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all.
And where does this, where do I connect the event? Where is this event happening?
When we type something.
Exactly, when we type something. So we can actually connect it to the input, yeah? So input, add event listener. And do you know what's the event on when we start typing? What is the event name?
no.
Click.
Actually, we are not clicking. This is actually when we start typing. So that event is called input. So on input event, we want something to happen. So let's create a function for that. Function. So how do I grab the value from input?
To grab from input.
How do I get this value? So we have the input.
But just by calling input.
Input dot value.
Exactly. So const result is equal to input dot value and inputted value. Let's see console.log result. So when I start typing, you can see that every time we get the value of what we are typing in. So it's grabbing us the value. But I don't want the empty spaces. So how do we get rid of empty spaces? Are you familiar with regex?
No.
So actually there is a method, replace. So replace will get the string and you can replace one value with another value. So, and also we can apply regex here. So this will mean find all the empty spaces, so globally, and replace it with a string that has no empty spaces. So we can apply this method. And also now we need to show on the output, yeah, actually we need to calculate the length. How do we get the length of this?
There is for loop. Mm.
Result.length.
Result, it's
Exactly.
actually a string. Yeah.
Exactly. It's a string, so we have a method that gets the length of the string. Yeah, so that length, and we want to show it in output instead of this.
And you just change the inner HTML
in
text.
HTML
The
recording.
text content. Yeah, I forgot.
So output, inner text. So we can replace it with the result. Okay, let's start typing now. Nice. So 15, when we add empty spaces, it doesn't calculate empty spaces. Nice. This is it. Who can tell me like what's the difference between inner text and inner HTML?
When we use inner text, he will accept everything by text, by string.
Mhm.
And HTML can accept like HTML text also. He will count it like HTML tag.
Exactly. So it can process HTML tags as well. Yeah. Inner text is more limited in its features, so it can only process the text. So for
Manuel,
example,
didn't help with the replace. How did you reject it? Can you explain it?
so replace, what it does is it will take one, it will find string. First parameter is the thing that you want to replace, and the second parameter is what do you want it to be replaced with. So for example, if I add here capital R, and if I save it, so whenever I type empty space, I need to actually so log input dot value. So let's say VVV and empty space.
Here had to be R, right? Instead of
Yes. Let's take this one. So you can see that I put here empty space, but it replaces it with R. So it just takes your string and it will
Okay.
replace it with a thing that you wish.
Is it like formal? What is G? Why did you?
G, this is the regex formula. So it means that globally, it means that everywhere you have the empty space, replace it with
Okay.
R. So otherwise, if you don't do it globally, it will just replace first R and the rest will be just empty space.
Mhm.
So if you want to be done for all the empty spaces, so then you can apply this regex. It's like a formula.
But you have a method to replace all, don't we?
Actually, yeah. So let me bring it here. So replace all will work exactly the same. I think they do same thing, like it replace all has regex under the hood. So it depends on your preference if you would like to use replace all or replace with this regex. So this is it. Do you want to have the code for this, or you're already keeping up?
I'm okay.
I think it would be great if you send it.
Yeah, sure. 2042. Let me send you the code. Do you want the index HTML as well, or only script?
It would be a good style also.
Everything, yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Excuse me, we have one problem, I think. For example, we now start with 0. I mean, your word length is 0, and then when you type, is it going to? Okay, got it. Got it. Excuse me.
No, it's good. It's good. You thought that it will start from 0, like the first letter?
Got it. Thank you.
No, it actually will just calculate from here, like what is the input length. It will take it dynamically whenever you start typing. So this is the scriptures. Okay. So this was our first project. Very easy. You can see that's straightforward. Do you have any questions?
Nope, it's pretty simple.
Sounds good. And the other variation of this project is to type the word first, and then on click, you need to calculate the word length. So I would like to give you some time to build this. So you have already pretty much everything. You just need to add the button, click to calculate word length, and add to this button the functionality to click it, on click calculating something, and then you can still use this output, this paragraph to output. So let me put it here. So maybe somewhere here you can put output. Yeah. So like this paragraph, yeah, your word length is, and then actually the result here. So in the beginning it will be 0. So you can start typing something here, and then on click of this button, I want you to calculate the length of the word. And you can use the similar kind of logic that's here. It just, the difference is that you don't want the event to happen on input, you want it to happen on click, button click. Is the task clear?
Yep.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So how much time do you think you need? 10 minutes?
I think more.
How
50.
about
5.
5? I hear all kind of variations. How about we do 10 and we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
And I'm going to have a timer up here. So 10 minutes. See you in 10 minutes. If you have any questions, if you get stuck, let me know. I'll be right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so next project we're going to build is passing a message. And showing the message over here. So it's going to be also very easy kind of project. So shouldn't be any, we shouldn't have any big troubles here, but we need to take care of some edge cases. So what if the input is empty, for example? And let me start typing here, for example, bunch of F, and then on submit, we want to see the message that was passed here, last message delivered right here, and the button, you can see that it was changed into submitted, and on the input click, it changes again to submit. So it's default value. And then we can add some more, and on submit, you can see that this one was updated. The message was updated, so we want to have this UI. Let's create another folder. Not here. Pass message. So let's create here index.html. Style CSS. And scriptures. I'm going to close this one. So the task itself is actually also in the CTEC portal. You can open this pass a message. It has a different colors of the UI, a little bit different, but in general, the logic is similar. So when we submit, the message will be shown over here. Okay, so let's start. We're gonna need to create our, let's create our boilerplate, and title will be pass a message. And we're gonna need to connect our style CSS and scriptures. So the structure is pretty similar to the previous one. So we're gonna have a wrapper and some HTML tags inside. So let's create a wrapper container, and inside we're gonna have h1 message you would like to us, and we're gonna have input of text type, and let's give it also ID of input, and placeholder. I'm gonna say type your message. Message. And we're gonna need a button with let's give it ID of button. ID of btn. This will say submit. And also we're gonna need h3. It will say last message delivered. Message delivered. And the paragraph that will output our message, we're gonna need ID message. So initially it will be empty, and we're gonna put the message programmatically. So this is it. This is our HTML part. Now let's do some styling. So for the styling, let's grab the wrapper, and let's give it width of 500 pixels. margin order and with margin top 100 pixels, and let's give it the background color of salmon, and also padding of top and bottom 10 pixels, and on the sides 20 pixels. And for the button, we're gonna give some padding, 5 pixels and 20 pixels, border radius of 5 pixels. Oops. And let's give a text color of white. The background color is also salmon. Font weight is bold. And let's remove the outline. And last is for our input. Let's see actually how it looks. Lots of wrapper. This should be background color. Background color. Okay. For the input, let's give it a height of 25 pixels. I think that's it. So we have our structure and CSS as well. How about I'm gonna send you both of them, just in case if you yeah. $24. So we have our HTML code and style CSS code. So I'm gonna send it to the chat in case if you were a little behind or maybe there are some typos. Now we will do the logic. We'll add the logic. Before we do that, I think it's break time. So how about we take a break and then we'll continue.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna put a timer right here. And after the break, we'll continue. Enjoy your break, guys. So we built so far, this is the UI that we have right now. And now we need to add some functionality to it. Let's bring our scriptures to the side. So the functionality is we need to type something into the input box, and on submit, on button click, we need to display the message below the last message delivered, yeah, right here. So what kind of elements we need to get from DOM?
Input button and paragraph.
Input, post, input, we get this document query selector. And our input has ID of an input. So input, and I'm gonna just copy paste it down. We need also the button. So let's put btn as ID of btn. And next we need btn. Next we need our message where we're gonna output message, ID of message. So we're grabbing this paragraph right here that has ID of message because we're going to put inside the text that we put it into the input. Okay, so what do we need to do now? And this question is for Kai. Kai, what's our next step?
Excuse me, what was the question? Sorry.
Well, what is our next step? So we have our elements, right? We have the input, we have the button, and the message, like the paragraph where we're gonna put our message. So what is our next step?
Oh, okay, we got the selectors here. Now we need to yeah, we need to do that so yeah, event. What is that? Event. Oh my goodness, I forgot the name. What is that? Yeah, to make that. So yeah, click event. So yeah, we need to create the event
Okay, so btn.
listener. Yeah, event listener. Yeah.
Nice. So we need to add to the btn event listener, right? Add event listener. What is the event that we are listening to?
Gonna be click.
Exactly. Click. And so how about we
Yeah,
extract
function.
this function? So I'm going to extract it as submit submit message. We're gonna create this
Okay.
function and
Okay.
kind of extract it there. So okay, let's create this function here. So what does this submit event should do? Submit message function should do.
Is that question? Okay.
You take the message, you just change the message value, yeah,
Message
paragraph.
value. And what kind of message do we need to put there? Where do we get that value?
So input value, we need to get input value.
Input value, exactly. So font. Let's put message value is equal to. So we'll get it from input dot value. Input dot value. And so this is our message, right? And on submit, we want to change add it to the message, right? So message dot inner text is equal to message. Oops. Let's do it. Okay. Let's try that. Nice. So one thing that I want also on submit, I want this text input to be cleared. How can we get that? How can we do it?
We can use inner HTML or inner text and empty string.
Inner
I
text.
think.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think we can give submit so type to the button. Is it
Submit
gonna
type.
clear?
For the button, you know. Okay. So button submit. I don't think it's gonna. No, it's not. It's not gonna like.
Oh, okay, no, it's not
automatically
working.
clear
Yeah.
like that. So We need to do it
Okay.
ourselves. Yeah. How do we clean it?
Or just assign the empty string to the input inner text, text content.
Input dot value, right? Input dot value
Yeah.
into the empty string. Okay. So now after I click, now it's empty. Perfect. Nice. So there is one bug here, like one case that we need to take care of when we want to submit. When user submits, the user shouldn't be allowed to submit empty text without putting anything in here. So if this input is empty, we want to show so if it's actual text, okay, we can submit it. If it's nothing is there, they want to show this, please enter text, or please enter valid text. How can we do this check?
I think this if
So we need to do it here, right? If
input value equal
if
if
so message value, right? So message value.
equal to empty string alert, we'll get alert.
Yeah, I
Yes,
think length.
please. We can do this, or we
I
can
think it's better to change the input placeholder. Right?
change the input placeholder.
Yeah, like it's gonna be gray and like a alert for the user.
Yeah, we can do the placeholder as well, or alert. It's up to you, personal preference. Usually there is like a pop-up window that will say, please enter valid message. Something like this. And otherwise we can do here else, or we can just return here. I think both should work. And if it's nothing, then okay. This is our project actually. Meet, okay. So this will work as well. Or if you want to do some other changes, you don't want to output alert. If you want to make a pop-up box, that will work as well. But here we're just focusing on the functionality, making sure that the message is passed on this button click, and if it's empty, then we want to show alert message.
Maya, can you tell us about the other popular event methods like click? We know about click and input. What else?
So there is a mouse down, mouse up, key down, key up. So if you're trying to add some functionality for like on enter or on spacebar on when user on the keyboard they use the key spacebar, or up side arrows, up and down arrows, so you can all use for the key up, key down, this kind of events. So these are the popular. On scroll, that's another event where we want to do something, for example. But these are most popular ones, I think.
Thank you.
So one thing we can add also here when we submit, you can see that the button text is changing to submitted. How can we do it?
button in the text.
Mm-hmm.
This inner text again.
Inner text, exactly. So we can grab the button, btn inner text. Submit it. Let's try that. Submit it. So we don't want it to be always keep getting submitted, but when we click on the event, or click on the input, we want this to be changed to submit again. So let's add that as well. So maybe here, put one input, add event listener. If we click on it, if user clicks on it, we want to add function. We want to check change the button's inner text back to submit. Submit. So we type something, we submit, it's changed to submitted, and then we click here, it goes back to submit. Submit it, click here, back to submit. And if we would try to submit without any valid input, then it will show, please enter valid message. So also another bug here is that if we put just empty space, then click submit, JavaScript thinks that it's a message. So it doesn't show the alert because we have here this if statement, yeah, that says like if the message is empty, then only show the alert message, right? But if it's like this, it doesn't show, right? So how can we add that logic so that even if it's empty space like this and user wants to submit, we want to show alert? How can we do it?
Can
Any
we use
ideas?
Trim.
Trim, exactly. So on input.value, I think it was trim method, right? So now if I just put empty message, then submit, it will trim all the empty spaces and it will give us just empty string without any spaces. Then this if check will work properly. So trim method is really good for that. And 10. Oh, there is also a bug here. So you can see that if it's after showing the alert, it does return, but it doesn't clear the input. So we can add this input clearing right here. So we can do like this, or you can use if else statement, up to you. So whatever works best. So now submit. If you want to add empty message, then it will show please enter valid message. Okay, then it will go back to the original placeholder. Okay. Any questions, guys?
Nope.
So did you finish with this project?
That's it.
What about the list we can see when we click input?
Come again?
When you click the input, you can see like the few list of your last messages.
Last messages. I don't know. I think it's my browser shows me the last messages.
By default. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know why it does it. I think it's just coming from the history of the browser.
Okay, I thought it's just part of the project.
Oh no. It's already there. So I'm gonna send you this code to the Slack. Okay. If no questions, we have another project that we can build, and that one for the next project, we'll build HTML and CSS together, but the logic you will apply yourself. I will split you into groups and you can work with your teammates. So this is the project. Here's a project, and in this one, you need to find this is the application, very simple application where you need to input a number, lower limit and upper limit. And this program will generate you any number within this range. So if it's from 1 to 10, it will always generate some random numbers between 1 and 10. And then if you clear, it will clear all the input. So we'll be building it together, but only the HTML and CSS, and the logic will you will apply on your own in groups. Okay. Let's create another folder. This is random number project, and we'll have index.html and style CSS and scriptures. Let me close all these extra tabs. So random. So for this random number, we're gonna need, again, we can put it in a wrapper so that it's placed in the middle. So it's gonna be very actually similar to the previous structure. So wrapper. Inside this wrapper, we're gonna have another div. There was a random number. And the random number itself, we will, I'm going to wrap it with a span so that we can just place inside the span. So here, there is actually a span element. So whenever we put something here, we can output the value inside the span element, not the whole div or paragraph, right? So we can just grab the span element and put it here. So here we're gonna have a span that will have ID of random number. And in the beginning, we don't want anything to be shown there, so just empty. So this is our div. And here we can create a container that will have two different inputs. Every input, we can give it a label of lower limit. This will set a lower limit. And input type of number, we're gonna need number, and ID of lower limit. So it should be also lower limit. Let's keep it lower limit, actually. So let me copy paste it. This one will be upper limit, and also input type of number. And we're gonna need two different buttons. So let's put them into a div. button button with ID of generate routine. And here we can type generate. And also we're gonna need, let me put this button down here. And we're gonna need one more button that will say clear. We'll say clear routine. Okay. This is it. We're just gonna need to connect our script file and our CSS file. So for styling is also pretty straightforward. We can have our, do we have here? Have our wrapper. Oops. Let's take the wrapper and give it a, actually let's take the body. Maybe just place it in the middle. Height of 100 VH. And then display flex. Display flex. Align items in the center and justify content center. And we have a container. For the container, we're going to give it a width of 300 pixels. Let's give it a background color of gray. So just like EE. Some light gray color. And let's put everything in the center, text align center. Let's give it a padding of 30 pixels and 10 pixels on the side. And also let's give it border of 1 pixel solid and gray. See actually what we have so far. Okay. And for all the inputs and labels, let's this low limit, upper limit. Yeah, let's style a little bit. So for all the inputs and labels, I want to display all of them as input display align block so that we can add some margins and paddings. Let's give it width of 46% and margin top 5 pixels. And for the labels, let's put them text align to the right. Okay. And also for the button, I just want to push it down a little bit. For all the buttons, let's give it a margin top of 20 pixels. And why don't we see the other button?
You don't have it. You don't have it.
Ah, we don't have it, right? I thought we could create it. Ah, okay. I think I just removed it. Okay, yeah, got it. I think we just removed it. So this should be generate. Generate BTN. Okay. For the button, let's remove the border. And let's give it a background color. Gray, I think. Maybe light gray. And let's give it padding of 8 pixels and 10 pixels. And some border radius of 5 pixels. And let's change color to white. I think the color is 99999, something like this. Yeah. Sure. Shade of gray, for the generate button. We'll just make it different background. Background color will be green. Oops. So I think this is it. I think we can also style the span that we have here. So ID span, because we don't have it right now, but it will show up eventually. Let's give it font size, a bigger font size, 20 pixels, and a margin left of 20 pixels. And let's make the font weight as bold. So if I just put something here, number 10, it will show up something like this. Okay, so this is it. Let me just put this into the chat, and you can have it. So that you'll have the style CSS and HTML code. And your task is to, whenever we have lower limit and upper limit, you need to create random number between this lower limit and upper limit, including the limit itself. So for example, you can see that, so 10 is also included. I think also 1 is included. Yeah, 1 is also included. So let me put into the Script.js file the task. Create a program that will take that will generate number between lower limit and upper limit. So this should be including lower limit, and this should be including upper limit. Including upper limit. And there is also there are edge cases. So for example, if you're trying to generate without lower limit or upper limit, if any of these inputs are empty, or so edge cases that you should consider edge cases. If any of the inputs are empty, or if lower limit is higher than upper limit, then upper limit show alert. Please enter a valid input. Okay,
Yeah.
and
The number here will be as a string in JavaScript.
number.
The type of number will be string or just number in JavaScript.
So this will, so you need to generate the number from
Mhm.
lower limits and upper limits, and here it will be
I mean,
shown as a string.
the value in input will be string even if we will write here number, right?
Oh, you need to find it out.
I mean, type of the value will be string.
You need to find it out.
Oh, okay. So this will be empty. Can we use the previous method? Okay,
That's a task for you.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to create a program that will generate number between lower limit, that will generate number between lower limit and upper limit on generate button click. So this should happen on generate button click, and clear inputs and results when clear button button is clicked. Here I'm gonna just I'm going to paste this task also in the chat. And let me split you into groups. So we have, I think it will be 2 groups. Say breakout rooms. Sign. Victor. Insada. Insada. Okay. We have I've created 2 rooms. So you will be 4 to 5 people in each room. And one of you needs to share the screen, and you'll be typing, and the rest of the group, I want you to be actively participating. I will be visiting every breakout room, and I will be like observing and ready to answer your questions. Also, there will be Karina. She will be also, you can also ask her questions, right, Karina? So, but if you have any questions right now, if anything is not clear, please let me know. Otherwise, we can start the assignment. Any questions for now?
No.
Any doubts? Okay. Think that we can open the rooms.